Hey everybody, Spencer here with a brand new video. So today we are celebrating the release of Soul Hackers 2. It is just released worldwide on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S and X, as well as PC on Steam and the Windows Store. And yes, today is all about the dreaded DLC. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. This may have something to do with the fact that I'm recording this after midnight on launch day, but I have never had so much personal frustration and confusion about a single Atlus game and its additional content sold at launch. Normally, there's a bundle, you can buy it all at launch. I've got bad news for everyone watching this. Unless you pre-ordered this game and paid $90, you are most likely missing out on some of this game's content, and there is no other way for you to get it all. So today we will be going over every version of Soul Hackers 2 that you can purchase, and we will be going through each piece of downloadable content, which is included in what, how much things cost, what do I think is worth it, showing them off for all of you to check out, and so on and so forth. So, first up, let's just start with the game. Now, all these prices are going to be based off North America, because that's where I'm based out of. Obviously, regional pricing in different areas may vary, but for the most part, that way you kind of know where I'm all coming from. So, first off, if you pre-ordered the game and only pre-ordered the game, not bought it at launch, not bought it after launch, only if you pre-ordered the game or one of its 3 digital versions were you able to get the Persona 5 Phantom Thieves costume and accessories pack. Now, this was included in all versions of the game. The $60 version included this DLC pack as an exclusive pre-order bonus, as well as the game. Then at $70, there is the Digital Deluxe Edition. This includes the Lost Number bonus story arc, which is a thing we'll go over in greater detail later, as well as the Booster Item Pack, which is just your basic, hey, level me up fast, give me money fast, give me materials fast. Basically, I don't want to actually play the game, I want to break the game, turn this on, or you're a trophy or achievement hunter and want to just get them legally, but not have to grind as long. And then finally, there is the $90 Digital Premium Edition. This edition comes with not only all of the DLC, with the exception of the Persona 5 Phantom Thieves costume pack, yes, this will get confusing, but it also includes 2 exclusive pieces of DLC that were actually included in the Asian Special Edition of the game, not the Western one. Again, this is all confusing. The first exclusive piece in the Premium pack was the Aho or AI-Ho Demon, or I like to refer to them as Ringo Frost, because it looks like a Jack Frost dressed up as Ringo. This is an exclusive demon that you can only get through this version, as well as a exclusive costume for Ringo, which is Mary's maid costume from the original Soul Hackers. We'll go into more detail for those later, but just know the only way to get all of the DLC, with the exception of Persona 5 costume pack, remember, I'm going to just keep saying this because there's really no way to get all of the DLC after launch, or even at launch. You had to pre-order this and get all of these things sorted out ahead of time. It's a giant confusing mess. But if you are looking for most of the content, the Digital Premium Edition is the only way you can get that. If you bought a physical copy of the game, there is a DLC bundle that is $40, and that comes with almost all of the DLC. It includes the Booster Item Pack, the Costume and Background Music Pack, the Bonus Story Arc Pack, and the Bonus Demon Pack. But there is no way to buy a la carte the Ringo Frost or the maid costume for the game at all, much like with the Persona 5 Phantom Thieves bundle pack. All of those have to be gotten beforehand or as part of other bundles. So let's just jump into the most boring DLC pack, the Booster Item Pack. Like I said before, this Booster Item Pack is not anything new with other Atlus games. 3 different switches are in the configuration menu. Each one of them will basically just give you an extra item after every single battle. In normal other Atlus games, they've made unique areas or maybe made spawn rates for rare enemies increase. This time, they threw all of that out of the window. They just said, here, we're going to give you this after every single battle. You don't have to worry about it. This can be with a level 1 opponent. This can be with a level 85 opponent. It doesn't matter. So if you have all 3 of these turned on, after every match, you will get treasures that you can sell for money, extra materials for upgrades, and an item that lets you level up instantly any demon and any character. So if you play the game as intended, you will usually beat the game at around the 50, 60 level mark, I would say, on normal. With this, you could hypothetically get from level 1 to 99 in less than 2 hours. It basically just involves you leveling up normally, or also just using these items that level your character up instantaneously. Now, there are reasons you may want to level up or have money right away. None of these are mandatory. The game is completely balanced without any of these items, and if you have these items on and they are equipped, you're going to ruin your default experience with the game. This is something I would only recommend for using if you're trying to get a platinum trophy or all of the achievements after the fact. Don't touch these on your first playthrough. It's just going to break the economy and the whole game around it. It's not fun. It's not worth it. I wouldn't recommend buying this. This comes bundled in with almost every other way to buy the DLC. So unless you're really going out of your way to avoid this DLC, it's going to come bundled in most of the packages for this game anyway. So I wouldn't really be that worried about it. At any price, I'd say it's overpriced just because it's not really worth it. Did I use it to try and accelerate my own playthrough? Yes, because I would like to get the Platinum Trophy, but it still did not ever seem worth it to include, especially at a paid cost. Now, next up is something that people are probably going to be a little bit more tempted with, and that is the Costume and Background Music Pack. The Costume and Background Music Pack includes costumes from Persona 4, Persona 5, Shin Megami Tensei 4, Devil Summoner Raido Kuzunoha on PS2, as well as the original Soul Hackers, and there's even a swimsuit costume pack, and all of these packs include mostly the same thing. There is an exclusive accessory item, which isn't really going to be a deal breaker, but is something nice to have, especially if you like tinkering around with your builds and different buffs and stuff like that. But the big draw here is the background music. So when you're in battle, not only can you change your costume, you can also change your background music. So Soul Hackers obviously has its own fantastic soundtrack, but if you'd like to play more nostalgic tracks like the battle themes from Persona 4, SMT4, or even the original Soul Hackers, these costume packs are fun ways for you to kind of cross over and just really just hit on your nostalgia of like, hey, I'd like to dress up as the school uniform from Yasogami High while I'm listening to music from Devil Summoner on PS2. A lot of fun stuff like that. Things I really enjoy, and thankfully they actually incorporate the music in a very, very well way. Persona 5 had a really annoying thing where it was exclusively tied to what you wear. With this, in the settings, you can have it on many different things. Do you only want to listen to the original soundtrack? Do you want your soundtrack to be based off what Ringo's wearing? Do you want it to just be from each individual game and you can handpick each track that plays during battle? Or do you want to put it on shuffle and have all the songs you've downloaded be mixed in with the actual battle themes? Now, just a little bit of a heads up, it's not totally getting rid of the original soundtrack for the game. If there is music you're supposed to be hearing for a story battle or a boss fight, it'll play that original song. These are just for those in-between moments when you're in dungeons or just grinding in the Soul Matrix, stuff like that. So, a little bit of an aside for the two costume packs you can't buy a la carte. The Phantom Thieves costume pack is an interesting set of costumes where it is actually the second Persona 5 costume pack with a second track, a second exclusive accessory, and the costumes are all based off of the Phantom Thieves from Persona 5. Ringo is dressed up as Joker, Arrow is dressed up as Ryuji, Milady is dressed up as An, and for whatever reason, probably just because of the gun, Saizo is dressed up as Akechi. All of these costumes are handled really, really well. I actually like how they look a lot, and the different background music is a fun thing to add. I'm not a huge fan of them all being bundled in one. In Japan, you're able to buy them a la carte based off each different game, but in the West, you basically have to buy all of them or have none of them. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Speaking of unfortunate is the final costume DLC, and this is interesting because it's a costume DLC pack that is for one costume only, has an exclusive accessory and an exclusive song, and that is the Mary costume for Ringo. So Ringo can dress up as Mary's maid costume from the original Soul Hackers, and along with just looking really, really cool, or if you're a fan of maids, there you go, there's a character in a maid costume, it actually has one of my favorite songs out of all of the background music packs, and that plays the original 1997 Soul Hackers opening theme song when you're in battle. And it is such a blast from the past for me, especially as someone who was such a fan of Soul Hackers for so many years. And remember, this is a title that's celebrating the 25th anniversary. This is like such a perfect song. To see it hidden behind a $90 digital-only edition of the game is so heartbreaking. And I'll show footage of this all while I'm talking, but it really, really stinks that something so special has to be locked behind such an extremely expensive price point. So that was really, really unfortunate to me. And if you have the digital premium edition, congratulations. You're not missing out on most of these things, and you get to see all the awesome music that's included there. But again, it just goes back to, I really wish I could recommend people buying it. So for the costume stuff, all in all, I will say definitely give it a buy. There's way more good than bad. The only bad costume pack, I would say, is Shin Megami Tensei 4. The SMT4 costumes just stick out like a sore thumb. The music doesn't really fit the vibe either of the world and aesthetic of Soul Hackers 2. It definitely kind of feels like a mod, whereas the rest of them, yes, it's a bunch of adults dressing up in schoolboy or schoolgirl outfits, but the music and everything kind of fits a lot more of the aesthetic as opposed to just Shin Megami Tensei 4. So, is it fun to have the battle music and the battle theme from SMT4? Of course. I'm glad to have that there. The costumes, though, leave a lot to be desired. Everything else, though, I think they did a fantastic job. The models look great, and they were really, really fun to kind of explore and see in battle used in various different ways. The only real complaint, I would say, is I kind of just wish there was a costume shuffle button so I didn't have to constantly keep going into the menu to changing my costume, because the costumes have no actual effect on the battle. Now, final little thing I do want to say about costumes for anyone out there who is curious, because costumes are a section in the base game, there are no free costumes in this game. So that costume function, if you don't buy any of these DLC costumes, you'll never be able to switch out of anything besides your basic generic outfit. So that's really unfortunate. We've really taken a step back, especially because a lot of these games used to have so many different aesthetics and ways to change your character and customize them. It is really kind of a bummer that this has stayed a DLC exclusive for so long. Now, next up we have the Bonus Demon Pack. This is a pack of 8 exclusive demons who I will not be butchering all of their names, but a lot of them that you've seen in the past, and really the big one with this are mostly 2 choices. Number 1 is Mara is an exclusive demon, which I know a lot of people are definitely rubbed the wrong way just because Mara has been such a iconic demon for Shin Megami Tensei for so long. But the big one, I think, for most people, especially kind of going back to the nostalgia play here, is Nemissa is actually a playable, a recruitable demon, or a summonable demon more than anything. And Nemissa being added is really, really cool. I'm not going to deny that. The fact that they actually brought back Laura Bailey to be Nemissa again after all of these years. It's been 10 years since she's been Nemissa. And for such a small piece of DLC where she's really not talking outside of making a couple of grunts every now and then, it's a really cool thing. I just don't like that it's in the game. None of the demons really do anything outside of just, oh, that's cool, and give you member berries. This is a skip for me. Unless you really, really want to see Nemissa pop up every now and then in your dungeon, the only thing this is really just going to do is just to make your demon compendium super stacked, have Satan there to be able to add tons of stacks and make everything way, way, way easier. Like if you want to summon a free level 90 plus Satan, there you go. That's how you can do it. It's a thing that's like, yeah, if you're a completionist or if you just really love seeing Mara run around your dungeons every now and then, I definitely understand it. For me, though, outside of just kind of marveling at it for a couple of seconds, I never thought about it very much. When you're in battle, you're only seeing your characters. You're not seeing your demons summoning themselves and doing all these moves. No, you're mostly only seeing the demons in the dungeon. So it's a very minor thing. So that's one that I can definitely say is a pass. Kind of going back to the Ringo Frost AI Ho demon. It's cool that it has an exclusive Sabbath attack, and it is cool to see a little Jack Frost Ringo doing a soul hacking move. And that is fun, but at the end of the day, it's the exact same animations and nothing really special compared to any other Jack Frost in the game, especially when there are so many Jack Frost models in this game. Sticking a Ringo wig and a Ringo outfit can really only get you so far. That was a good one of, like, include it in an expensive edition, but if you don't have Ringo Frost, you will not be missing out. You're not going to be losing sleep over AI Ho not being there to soul hack and battle for you. Totally fine to skip, not losing out on anything crazy there, I promise you. Okay, and finally we have the bonus story content, the Lost Numbers DLC. This is $10 if you want to buy it on its own, and I'm just going to say this right now before I even start describing it or anything. Buy this. This is the best piece of DLC Atlus has ever made. It's not nostalgia bait. It is a standalone story that you can progress all at once if you've already beaten the game, or you can unlock it slowly as you progress through your story. It is fantastically done. It is a new story about a new devil summoner named Nana. Nana has basically come into the city looking for her father, and without getting into any spoilers, this was a much longer quest than I'd ever thought. There is an exclusive super boss in the game that you get to fight with this DLC. There's an exclusive dungeon. There are multiple side quests. This is not just one couple of boss fights you're doing back and forth. Everything in this downloadable content is voiced, which, considering none of the other side quests in the game are voiced, they really put a lot of time, thought, and effort into this. It was nice to have new features in the game as well. Nana is actually part of your party at certain points in this side quest line, where she will be exploring with you, she can fight with you, she's part of your party screen with you. This was just such a welcome surprise. Nothing felt like it was cut from the original game. This is, again, just a standalone side story, and I really welcomed it. It wasn't trying to be nostalgia play. Like, as much as I enjoyed the Demi-Fiend DLC, or even the DLC packs from SMT4 Apocalypse, they're all very much trying to hit on your member berries of like, hey, do you remember this? Do you remember the protagonist from this? Do you remember this guy fight? I really liked all of it from beginning to end. The only thing I will say is prepare for how difficult that super boss is going to be, but for the most part, the story that's there is all very, very good. It's very satisfying. It's a lot of good moments with each of the characters. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's fun to burn through. It's a lot longer than I would have ever thought a $10 piece of DLC like this is, especially when you compare the price. Like, this is the same price as the costume pack. This is the same price as the demons. Like, they're not adding as much content as this $10 is. So I think this is a instant recommend to anybody. If you like this game and you want to pick it up before you start playing, I cannot recommend it enough. It is a very, very solid piece of DLC that is a must-play for anyone who enjoys this game. And again, I can't stress it enough. You're not missing out on story. This is not cut story content. This is just a new story that takes place in the world of Soul Hackers 2 with a new character, new fights, really, really good stuff. So thankfully, we're at least not ending on a downer note. But I do have to say, overall, I'm really only recommending 2 pieces of DLC content out of various different things. I do recommend the costumes. I do recommend the Lost Numbers story content. Everything else is such a total pass, though. And that's so unfortunate, considering how confusing this was. From pre-ordering exclusive-only Phantom Thieves pack to a $90 digital exclusive pack of costumes and demons and everything else. And the fact that also, if you're a physical collector, you're just screwed or have to double or triple dip. Or at this point, hope that you can buy someone's PSN account or log into it to get the Phantom Thieves costume pack. As of this writing, I have asked Atlus, and there are no plans to make the AI Ho Demon or the Mary costume pack or the Phantom Thieves costume pack available a la carte. Obviously, that could change. Maybe they want to wait 6 months, maybe they want to wait 12 months. But at launch, if you're someone who just picked this up physically and you want to own everything, you just can't do that right now. And it's really unfortunate. And I feel like we keep getting closer to things getting better. Obviously, there wasn't a, hey, play the game 5 days early if you get this digital edition. But now we're back to expensive premium editions, multiple SKUs, exclusive DLC and SKUs, exclusive DLC and pre-order bonuses. And it's just like, I cover this on a weekly basis. And this is frustrating and annoying. People who are working on this, it is frustrating and annoying. I don't know who this is for outside of just to make as much money as humanly possible. So, again, if you're out there, if you don't like this, vote with your wallet by not buying any of it at all. it's going to make a difference. This is not a surefire bet like SMT5 or Persona. This is not something that's a guaranteed everyone's buying the $90 version because they want everything right away. This is your moment to say, hey, if we don't want this kind of DLC, we're not going to buy this. But hey, maybe you do love this game. Maybe you do want the extra demons. Maybe you just need Nemissa in your party. Maybe you need the $90 maid costume. Or maybe you just want the extra story content. There's a lot of different avenues here. There's not one correct answer. Just wanted to basically make this video. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully the footage helped you at least kind of justify your purchase, or at least help you figure out what kind of purchase you may or may not want to make. If this video was helpful for you, please, please, please consider subscribing, commenting, all that normal YouTube stuff, sharing the video around. It really helps. I've been busting my back trying to cover this game for the last month or so. I've got a 25-minute long review on the channel. I'll have that linked in the comments below. There's a whole bunch more content coming for Soul Hackers 2 as well, but we're reaching the crescendo of all the really long projects I've been working on, so expect a lot more fun, lighter, hopefully not 15-plus minute long videos like this one. So let me know what you think of this video in the comments below. Did you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Was this helpful? Was this uninformative? Let me know. And seriously though, thank you so much for everyone at Atlus West who did help me make this video. This was a lot of emails back and forth about DLC, explaining things, trying to find out concrete answers on things, and while I may not have been the most happy with how this DLC was rolled out, especially in the West, they helped me to the best of their ability, so I do want to give them a shout out for helping me out as much as humanly possible. So, thank you all as well for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.